in Zincs, they stonewalled me at Portal. No, they stonewalled me at 4-7. They wouldn't let me go to Portal.
Really?
And
why? Because I was there. I was one of your friends back then, right? So why did that happen?
Oh God. The story behind that was, I was still working with under Catherine, and she kept on trying to get me gone there, and she heard of a Portal date for coming up, and in fact, do you remember Frater Callio?
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I tried to expel him for grabbing Sora's butts, but he was doing too much for Voldemort, so I had to relent. He was protected.
Oh, geez.
I know, right? If you could talk about someone ever getting into 5-6 for financial reasons, there's a good case.
Yeah, I always refer to him as a nefesh in the flesh.
Nefesh in the flesh. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Apparently he had a Portal date. Catherine heard about it and basically said, "Get your ass up to Vancouver." So I got my ticket and everything. And then the morning of, I was staying at my sister-in-law's place, who's up near the Twin Cities, because I was flying out of Minneapolis. And it was Marcel on the phone, and he said, "No, it's been canceled. Don't come. Robert doesn't know you yet. You need to get to know Robert. It's yada yada." And so I didn't go, and I found out about 6 weeks later from Marcia that they went ahead and advanced Callio anyway.
But no.
So I was kind of done with the bait and switch at that point.
And this was at my temple to Hootie.
It was.
Jesus, man. So you, talk about not initiating you and initiating someone like that.
Well, but that's Zinc for you, he.
No wonder you joined Gargamel after that.
Yeah, he'll take the bootlicker every time, especially the one that's going to hand him over money.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that he, because when I went through the GD, he wasn't really involved, honestly.
Right.
He wasn't really present during my 7 years. I mean, during the latter half, he sort of came back into action and started milking people for money, and that was sad. But, most of the time you would go through the entire outer order and you might not even meet him until you got into the inner order.
Right.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, okay, it looks like the recording's working fine, so I think the early bit might have all been clipped. It might have all be distorted, that first bit, but I don't know how important that is. So are you saying TF was opposed to you getting initiated?
No, she was my biggest fan.
Oh yeah, good, because she's the bomb. She's the bomb.
I know. I love Catherine to pieces.
Yeah. Before this COVID thing happened, and the Kincaid fire in California, which I was part of the evacuation of, I was heading down. I had plans to go down there and have lunch with her and reconnect with a bunch of people. Yeah. Yeah, but hey, between the fire and now COVID, basically I've done nothing since the last year since I've been in California.
Yeah. Have you heard anything from Lisa?
Actually, I was sent her number, and I want to get in touch because I know she's got some serious health stuff going on. I should call her, actually.
Yeah, me too. The MS is taking a hold. There's not much she can do on her own anymore, sadly.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Geez, we're all dying and getting old and sick, aren't we?
Nature of the beast, I think.
Even the Mona Lisa's falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's really great to talk to you. I was just re-listening to your Esoteric Nerd episode with Joe Shantz, which I am always almost brought to tears when I hear his voice, because I miss him.
Oh God, me too.
So I miss him so much. Why are the best people the ones who fucking die? from
I know only the good
tumors.
Die young, you know.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, and a lot of the best. Anyway, God.
Yeah,
Let's take a second in silence for him.
absolutely.
Mm. You can feel it, can't you?
I can, you know. He's still pretty accessible. I remember shortly after he had passed, you know, it had been a few days later. You know, and you know, I know I could reach out and connect with him if need be. But I remember one time where he just kind of showed up and said, "So, hey, you know, you haven't done that Requiem for me yet."
Oh no.
And I was like, okay. I just dropped everything and went into the temple.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, when I called Edward, it was like, you know, what, 3-4 years ago, and I asked if he would be available when we did the first my episode of the podcast of Esoteric Nerd, and he told me, and I just burst into tears, and I think I cried like all night long.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Well, let's move on to new life, and
Yeah.
and so yeah, you've been busy with your adept work in Chick's Order, and that's still going good. I presented at PantheaCon. They accepted my proposal to lecture on W.B. Yeats's Hermetic Order of Celtic Mysteries. And dude, when I walked into the lecture hall, I actually tried to turn around and leave again because it was this massive room with like easily 200 people there, and I was like, ooh, I was expecting, like, in my academic life, I'm used to like 12 people sitting in a circle or something like that, and it was like so many people. I thought it was the wrong room, and someone had to grab me and drag me back in, and apparently I was fashionably late, but that's because I was, the elevators don't work at PantheaCon. Famously, you like wait there for 20 minutes to catch these elevators, and anyway, and the lecture went really well. I actually, they had forgotten to put a whiteboard in the room, but I was like, there's no way 200 people could see a whiteboard. I wish they had warned me how many people they expected to show up to my lecture, because then I would have been like, put the chairs in a row, don't do it in a circle, and I would have had, you know, I would have done it on stage instead of, like, I thought we were going to have just a small little group and try out some of his ritual stuff. Instead, I had to do improv. I just went off the cuff, which I could do because I've been studying this exact thing for 25 years. Yeah. God, how old are we getting, man?
Oh God. Yeah. I turned I'm 50 and a half now, so.
Oh geez. Yeah, I'm turning 40 in several months.
Yeah. Now I'm even sadder that I didn't make it to the last PantheaCon. I was really trying to make it. I just couldn't carve out the time.
Yeah. There's it's all right.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to have you there. It was crazy. Mary Greer was in my lecture. She sat through my lecture.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was very weird, and I referenced her there, and we all gave her a standing ovation because it was her book very much back in '97 when I was in Zelator got me deeper and deeper into Yeats's contributions to the Golden Dawn, of course, and the lecture, of course, itself wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
You sent me the document that, and you know, I think it was you even encouraged me. Hey, like, hey, are you going to finish this Celtic Mysteries thing that you started back in the mid '90s? And I was like, I don't have this information. And then you sent it to me, and I was like, oh, I didn't know it was available, because there was no way to find out in the '90s that it was available. Right.
I can't remember where I stumbled upon it, but it's like, ooh, hello, what's this? And I know exactly the person who needs to see this.
Amazing, thank you so much. It's changed the course of my life slightly.
Excellent, so great to hear.
That will be the next 4 years for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I may also finish a PhD in that time. Who knows? I just don't really care too much, especially since academics, you know, I love it, but I don't like the bureaucratic systems, and who knows what's happening with universities now. I know.
You get into the culture is peculiar. You know, yeah. You got this publish or perish type of thing going on, and even if you don't, it's very cliquey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Academics can be as petty as anyone.
It's true.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm doing this. I started a podcast mostly to focus on interpreting academic research in areas that it's relevant to practical spirituality practitioners, and I've been really enjoying that. So I'll go
Good.
through several articles, essays every morning, and find one that I think is relevant, that I have something to say about, and then present it with whatever commentary is necessary. And yeah, I think because I think we have a lot to gain from academic research. I mean, I think how useful is it that we ignore academic research because it challenges what we want to believe is true?
Oh my God, yeah. In our, there are so many facets of the esoteric community which are just like that. The whole fluffy bunny, just white lighter. Everything is all about belief. And no. How about everything is about fact? How about you try that?
Right.
Sorry. Light is a wonderful thing, but in the wrong amplitude, light blinds, light burns, and you know what? The truth hurts sometimes. So get a thicker skin and suck it up, because we're seekers of truth. We are trying to understand the veritable fabric of reality here through occult means. It's not about just traipsing through this new age belief system just because you want all the field to feel good.
Yeah. No, I one of my favorite things you said on that Esoteric Nerd episode, which I think I mentioned on Facebook right away back in the day when I first started paying attention to the Esoteric Nerd, was don't mistake sweetness for spirituality or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had so-called light workers attack me online and say, that we need to band together and murder pedophiles. I'm like, that seems contradictory to, being a light worker. And they're like, no, because they're darkness. They're not even human. It's like, so all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
Right.
But we are living in a George Orwellian world now, aren't we?
Oh my God.
Yeah. You're still in Madison?
Yes, I am.
I always regret that I couldn't swing by and see you, because I knew I was there in my 2008 Drunken Priest tour across Canada. We swung through Madison, but our VW, our 73 VW, broke down in Montana so many times we had to switch out to a Chevy pickup, and then by the time we were on the road, we were already late for our live recording show in Chicago. So I couldn't even contact you, but we had a gig in Madison. I was all set to reach out and be like, guess where I am? And
oh wow,
that would have been so much fun to see you in 2008. Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Though maybe you were off in Paris doing your 5-6 for all I know, because that happened.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is we've been tidying up, and I actually uncovered my my 5-6 certificate from Paris. It was 29th of May of 2005.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never did the 5-6 in our order.
No.
Yeah. Well, and you did that with Griffin, and now then again with Chick Cicero.
Right.
Yeah. 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 You are a strange creature, my friend. You are a lifer like none other, I think.
I've had more than one person look me straight in the eye and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? How do you go through all that shit and still be in the Golden Dawn?
Aaron Leach. Yeah, that was what Leach said to you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm always people when I sort of came back. It was really Edward that evoked me out of the darkness, because I had gone dark for a very, very long time, as you all know.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people were like, including my former protege, who then went bad and tried to break up Yeshi's order, people were like, a lot of people were surprised and like, oh, I thought you gave up on this stuff. It's like, a lot of adepts who so-called go dark, which doesn't mean, of course, to go evil. For those listening, it means to vanish. It's usually not because we've stopped doing the work. It's usually because we're really doing the work.
Right.
And especially when you want to go through some of the stuff like what John of the Cross would call the dark night of the spirit. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, you can't be public to go through that stuff.
One of the things I came to an understanding, call it an epiphany if you want, but there was a moment that I was standing in Chick's vault and came to the realization that once you're initiated as an adept, once you're vaulted, then
I like that.
Not only are you vaulted right then.
You come up with the best terms, man.
What's that?
You come up with the best neologisms and terms, brother.
Nice.
Vaulted. Once you're vaulted.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Not only are you adept that moment, and not only are you an adept from that point forward, you're also an adept that from that point backward. There's a timelessness of the quality of being an adept. It's kind of like the understanding the word tetelestai. How it's from the Greek teleos, but the way it's conjugated is in a certain way. Has an implication of now that it has been completed, it's been completed now, forever, and really for all time, and that includes in the past as well.
Yes. Well, that's the idea of anamnesis in theological language, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea that the crucifixion didn't happen once; it happens. It's happening all the time, and
right.
Divine recapitulation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Me and my theology, right?
Right on.
Yeah. So, the Celtic mysteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think you might have time next year to start to get on board a little bit?
Yeah, I think so.
That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's been just confirmed that we're doing the first initiation. So we're going to do one initiation every year and give ourselves plenty of time to go through the material, develop the curriculum as a group. And the leaders will be the people who go through it. That's it. There's like, if anyone is hoping to become wants a leadership role in a magical sphere, I mean, that's it's always de facto ad hoc when it comes down to it, right? It's the people that did the work. That's who it is. And so we're gonna do that next year on Yates's birthday, because of course we've started developing the material and learning the material as a group, and we'll do it at Chris Bennett's Soma Institute on Yates's birthday next year.
Okay.
Yes, and it's going to be amazing. And yeah.
Well, it sounds like there's a right way and a wrong way to bootstrap a magical society, and this is the right way.
Tell me more. Say more about that.
Well, you have a lot of the a lot of people who either just out and out claim a certain grade, or get papers that bestow a grade that are not necessarily legitimate, and these chiefs then create the system and then put other people through it without actually having gone through it themselves.
Right.
But this is you're building materials first. You're doing the ground level initiations first together, and then you're moving all the way up to the point where you can legitimately call yourselves chiefs because you actually have been through the system and you've actually done the work.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think there's it's important to to create together, as opposed to that whole idea of one person inherently nascently having a status and then providing each other's. No, we create together. We're building an egregore, as we say.
Yep.
That's a golden dawn word from start to finish, really, despite it becoming a popular and commonplace word in all occultism. Egregore is a golden dawn term, and it's because that's how the GD was formed. Of course, it was formed by master masons and people who were top dogs in the Sauce Ross, as they say. You're a sock Ross or Sauce Ross guy, right?
Yeah, SRICF.
Yeah, you're everything, aren't you? Are you Martinist too?
Just first degree. Chick's been trying to poke and prod me for it on that too.
Yeah. I actually have to. He gave me his card. I have to give him another call. So I was at Pantheacon and I was talking to Mary Greer, and I turned around, and standing right next to me was Tabby, Chick, and Lon, and the four of us all just had a talk.
Oh, lovely.
How trippy is that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we took a picture. It's on my Instagram. If you ever, I'll send it to you. It's a classic. Because I had a Hermetic conference we were going to do here at the Isis Oasis Retreat Center, November 22nd. The guests were all lined up, the speakers, everything, blah blah blah, and of course COVID had canceled that and everything. So
yeah,
that's all done. But and back to the Celtic Mysteries thing. Like, yeah, the last thing, as you know, anyone who knows me, the last thing I want to do is ever be chief of anything again. Been there, done that. But I do think it's important that something like Yeats's Celtic Mysteries is created by people who know his tradition and know his practices. So I think it's very appropriate that it's created, just like the GD was created by top-level Masons. It makes sense that the Celtic Mysteries is created by top-level GD people. And that's why I love the idea of your involvement, because you're a guy in Chick's order, and one of the other guys is a guy who's created actually his own Druid order, but was one of the top guys in Yeshi's order.
Okay.
And so, like, doesn't it just make sense to have there be an influence from multiple, chiefs of different orders? I think that's what makes the most sense to me, because you want to have perspective. You don't want to have this ideological or dogmatic view of just one perspective coming in and informing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The main thing to me is really that it develops and builds in a way that has longevity, and therefore it has to empower the people who are coming into it, whatever tradition they come from, and empower them to take it over.
Right.
I also don't want to have any sort of there's not going to be a centralized authority or any sort of thing like that. I'm going to actually sort of follow as this might upset some people, but a sort of shall we say, a slight IRA structure as far as the polity is concerned. I like the idea of cells, of people doing things. This is a horrible thing to talk about in this day and age, I know, but if you don't take it out of context, it's just the idea of people meeting the needs provisionally for their area and for the group of people they have who want to be involved.
Yeah, I catch the spirit of what you're saying.
Yeah, good. Maybe you can say it better than me. You say most things better than me.
I don't know about that. What would be amazing is if if this gets off the ground and it gets established, wouldn't it be everything to bring it back to Ireland and do an honorary initiation of one of Yeats's descendants? Is Michael Yeats still on the Taoiseach?
I believe he passed away.
Oh no!
I mean, his daughter did. I think Michael's passed away as well.
Okay.
Michael Yeats? Yeah.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be everything to have like an honorary Grand Master who's actually a Yeats?
Oh, he died in 2007.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm out of the loop.
Yeah. Well, time flies, man. Time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a Taoiseach.
Okay. I figured I was pronouncing it wrong.
Oh yeah, well, that's what the Celtic mysteries are for. By the time everyone's gone through the 4-year initiatory process, they'll all speak better Irish than most Irish people.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I will insert it incongruously and easily, because if there's one thing I'm a lover of, it's teaching language well. I was abused by the Canadian French system for years and never really got a hold of French, and they always blamed it on me. Next thing you know, I did a Hebrew intensive in grad school and passed the same test in a month that other students at the university would take a 2-year course to pass. It's all about the teacher and how you learn things. Learning things, a lot of people don't learn languages because they're taught like shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I knowing the way your brain works, I expect you to pass something in a month that most people take 2 years to do. So.
Oh man, that's the thing about the esoteric. Going back through all those old episodes, man. I thought I did such a good job at staying dark and keeping my family out of harm's way after the schism in 2003, right? But then when I finally went and listened to the Esoteric Nerd, I found out that for all of those years, people were coming on Edward's thing and all referencing me and even outing me using my real name and everything. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, Jeff Contreras. like I love the fact that people are calling me a prodigy, I guess, and shit like that. But like, for fuck's sake, you're bleeping out like, Zink's name and Griffin's name, but there you are using my first name, which you can basically Google my first name and get my cell number. So, I mean, everyone said very flattering things, but it was like 7 episodes that I was referred to directly during this period of time, which I thought I was keeping a low profile for the sake of my safety and my family's safety. And sure enough, I was wise to do that, because look what's happened to me as soon as I came back on the scene.
Right.
In 2018, before I went to a culture in Berlin, I was shot at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Griffin wants me dead as a doornail. That's what happens when he broke into my fucking house. If you commit a crime against someone and they can hold witness to you, then basically either you're going to end up in jail one day or be defamed, justly so, or you got to kill the person. So, yeah, they haven't stopped coming after me ever since, man. I mean, they have my social insurance number. They have all my IDs, they have my diaries, my birth certificates, all of that stuff, and my whole library, my family photo albums, my magical tools.
That's sad.
It is.
I can't imagine people just doing that shit.
Yeah. There's the occult attracts some serious wackos, but then again, so does corporate life, politics, religion, and public schools. And school systems. Yep. There's just a bunch of human beings. This is where I always come back to human beings. They get together and they do some fucked up shit.
It's true.
Yeah. So I don't know if you have any advice for how we can keep that out of the Celtic mysteries, and hopefully you'll be there. You'll be there to be part of that. So that'll be good.
Yeah. If I haven't found a solution yet, but if I do, you'll be the first to know.
At Tahuti, I just tended to expel people rather quickly. And that of course angered a lot of people and led to a schism in it, very much led by Dan Klein. But if people were backbiting and writing nasty emails about other people to other people, and I just expelled them. Like, there was nothing else I could do, right? And I don't know. I made a lot of enemies that way, but I didn't know what else to do. If people are doing things that are so nasty and against the rules of our fraternity, what else can you do except expel them?
Right. After you have exhausted all your patience, and you have no more fucks to give. Your fuck bucket is bone dry. It is empty. Yeah. I don't have any patience for those kind of drama games anymore either.
Yeah, especially when you got people like some fratter saying, "Oh, but she wanted me to grab her ass." It's like, fuck you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Yeah, man, no time for that.
Yeah. Well, bro, I got to get going here. The cats are circling like sharks. It is their feeding time.
Yeah. Well, thanks for
But
sparing a few minutes. It's great to catch up with you.
yeah, absolutely. We need to do this again.
Yeah, let's do a proper talk. I don't know what else we would talk about. Who knows? I don't know. Do you want to just end on something magical for people, like maybe some of your famous insight into magical practice and the path of the initiate? Like, what's been coming up for you recently in the last couple years? What sort of lessons have you learned on the path?
Well, I've been doing more holy guardian angel work lately, and there are two things that have been kind of a repeating theme whenever I am concerned or vexed over something or another that's happening in my life and in my world. The first thing is, whatever you're experiencing right here in the here and now, it is, this too will pass, and it is not as important or dangerous or hazardous or life affecting as you think it is. But if it is, and you're dealing with people or dynamics or anything like that, where you just don't seem to have a way out or an answer, the answer is love. If you move forward in the with the mind and the heart of love, and that doesn't necessarily mean love is all huggy kissy sweetness. Sometimes there is love in being honest and truthful and frank with people. If you move forward in love, things will take care of themselves by and large.
Yes, amen. That's beautiful. That's what I've sort of been kept. That's the thing I've been trying to keep saying over and over online when I am online is like, guys, if we keep dividing, if it's, you can't just go with the white pillar or the black pillar. It's about the middle pillar. It's not about the white pillar or the black pillar. It's about the pillar of consciousness and mildness and love.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
That's what I keep saying. And people are like, oh, but you don't understand. This is a time where we need to, of time of division, and we need to overcome our enemies. It's like, that's the exact thinking that I find is so harmful.
Yeah. Yes. For everything there is a season, but the idea of staying right there in the middle, is that you have the ability to swing to one side or the other, but you always have to come back to center. The way I have two basic prayers that I pray pretty much every day. One is the base, a slightly adapted version of the Jesus prayer, which is, Lord, be merciful unto me, a sinner, and keep me ever straight ways in the pathway of truth. And the other prayer is, Jesus, please protect me from your fanboys and fangirls.
Yeah, I love that bumper sticker. Jesus, save me from your followers.
Yes.
Yeah, that prayer was actually banned by the church at different times in different places because monks were using it so much and not even eating and just going into ecstatic states to the extent that they would not take care of themselves and get sick or die. It was such a popular chant.
Oh goodness! How dare it be so simple?
I know, right? I know. Oh, the last thing I wanted to tell you. So, tell me what you think of this. The other key thing I believe that has to be the case for the Celtic Mysteries is it's an order in the sense of you go through the 4 years of it, but then you're done. You finished. It's not like something where you necessarily hang around and then end up vying for power in some sort of warped community.
Right. Yeah. The impression I got from the papers is that there is going through the regimen, but then there's a completion, and that particular journey is complete. There's you've done it.
Yeah, sort of more of an alumni status after that, rather than
right.
Rather than I am a master and how much power can I hold over you.
Right.
Who's done it better? Who's more than each other? That's a problem that exists in second orders. That would be something maybe to talk about when we can do this again at lengthier time, is to talk about the sort of spiritual health within a lifelong order. Because that is a challenge for GD inner orders, which can be lifelong, and
right.
as well as like the Lima, which is a religion that is lifelong.
Right.
So I'd love to get into that with you more.
I'll throw that in the back of my mind and devote some CPU cycles to it until we speak again.
CPU. You're a programmer, aren't you? I forgot.
I am.
Yeah. Cool. I'll also send you some questions I got about CSS.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you for sharing your time with me, Frater. What should we call you on this episode?
I am Eric B. Sisco. That is my alter ego, ALTAR ego.
I love it. So you don't want a Frater name? Because I've been doing just Frater P, Frater C, Frater whatever, just nice and simple.
No, we'll keep it with Eric, big capital E Sisco.
You do have a Facebook profile under that name people can find you on if they want to interact or learn about Cicero's order or magic in general.
Yep, pretty easy to find on the Farce book.
I also noticed you didn't continue much with your blog, Apotheosis, and the Esoteric Order Survival Guide, and I was thinking maybe that's something I could develop a little bit and get out there more if with you or without you, if you don't mind, because I think it's something that's much needed.
I agree. I have a horrible track record of starting projects that I never complete. The need is out there as much as it was when I started writing it. And I have all the good intentions of picking it back up and completing it someday.
So you'd be open to a little collaboration from me?
Absolutely.
Amen. Because there's one thing about Aquarians is we finish things, and if there's anything anyone knows about me, it doesn't matter if it takes me a 10-year hiatus or not. I do not give up.
Excellent.
Perseverance, baby.
Perseverance.
Can't get rid of Frater RC unless you kill me. Even then, I'll haunt the fuck out of you.
Good answer.
I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm sure I could become one if I really wanted to.
Frater, you could become anything you damn well want.
Amen. Well, I'm sending all my love from sunny Northern California to you, brother, and I fucking love you, dude. I miss you, and I'm so sorry you never got to go through Portal when I was an officer back in that initiation day.
Well, everything happens for a reason, and it all worked out. We're still friends, we're still brothers, and I send you love back right from Madison, Wisconsin, which I affectionately refer to as the Big Cheesy.
I do know that. Yeah, I will make it there at some point.
Right on.
Let's. If it's not inappropriate, I'll end with a 770, even though I don't say that anymore.
Yeah, even if it is inappropriate, it might be fun.
770, brother.
Right. Take care, my bro.
Cheers.